Here are some things that I've had to accept about myself as a cisgender white man in America. I will never understand what it's like to live in this country as a black person. I will never know what it feels like to be transgender. I cannot grasp what it means to walk through life as a woman in a world that constantly underestimates and endangers you. Because empathy isn't about perfectly understanding someone else's life. It's about believing people when they tell you their story, even if you've never lived it yourself. And yet, somehow, in 2025, empathy has become controversial. Somewhere along the way, too many people, mostly on the right, started treating empathy as weakness. When black people talk about the systemic racism still going on in this country based on their own experiences, you will hear people say, well, I grew up poor, or I've had to work hard too, as if that erases centuries of discrimination. When trans people fight to have dignity and just be accepted for who they are, they're accused of playing victim or being a danger to the young people around them. And when women demand equity and safety, they're told that they just want special treatment. A society without empathy is dangerous. Without it, cruelty starts to look like common sense. It's how we end up with people laughing at the idea of families being torn apart at the border. It's how politicians can just shrug off the idea of kids going hungry in schools because parents should just be working harder. It's how laws get passed in an attempt to erase entire groups of people under the guise of protecting values. The civil rights movement gained traction because people finally saw the brutality and started to feel something. The AIDS crisis dragged on as long as it did because empathy was withheld until the loss of life was so great that it forced people to feel, to see it. Every time we as a society have ignored empathy, human beings have suffered longer than they should have. We don't need to understand everything, regardless of our desire to. We don't need to live each other's lives to feel another's pain. What we need is empathy. Because without empathy, we lose our humanity. And once a country loses its humanity, then everything begins to collapse. So choose to listen, choose to believe, choose empathy.